mentality within our community.
Now, you touched upon an area that I've argued about for a long time myself. You said the word conservative. And if we can utilize the situation, many blacks are Democrats, many blacks are categorized as liberal Democrats. And ultimately, I really believe, and it's been proven throughout, that pretty much most blacks are conservative. Dealing with the older generation, I should say. Believe in hard work, believe in education, want security for their family, sort of the American dream type of thing. You took this manifesto and you broke it down to 3 areas. If I may point out, strength of a black woman, the courage of black men, and the need to disintegrate stereotypes. Why those 3 particular subjects?
Well, those were the 3 that I think were most prevalent. We could have went on into educational aspects, into the religious aspect, the strength of black colleges historically within the community. We only had so much space to present the manifesto, and so we had to condense it. But I think it is very, very important. Number one, I hate the political aspects of labeling. This person is conservative and this person is liberal. When I say conservative, I'm not dealing with any type of political labeling that goes on. There's certain things that we did as people. The African society, if we want to label, the African society was a very, very conservative society. In fact, in studying African communities, where black folk, where we originally came from, family was almost worshipped. All right? It was almost worshipped. So family was very, very high on the social scale. Something has happened. Even during slavery, family was very, very paramount. Family was very, very important. There's certain values, even your grandmother, my grandmother, and they told us things like, you have to be better than. Get an education. Our foreparents and grandmothers and great-grandfathers, and they worked hard to give us better opportunities than they had themselves. Mother scrubbing floors and doing what they call day work, and father working 2 or 3 jobs to give us opportunities and things of that nature. We cannot, as a people, take those things for granted. We dressed, mothers dressed us in the best clothes possible, and we went to church, and we worshiped God, and we were very, very serious about this thing. But now something has happened. I've seen it. I can take you with me any Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night. You can go to taverns and clubs and see a mother and a daughter sharing the same bar stool, in the same club together. Young mothers who ought to be at home raising their children and instilling certain values in their kids, they're at the club on a consistent, constant basis. Many, not all, many of them don't take the time to go to parent-teachers conferences. They're not concerned about the welfare of their child in school until it is too late. Too many of our young people are getting in trouble into the judicial system because they don't have that structured environment at home. There was an old adage that said the hand that rocks the cradle is the hand that rules the world. And it's talking about mama's hands. And so we need to get back to those values as far as instilling those things within our kids.
The adage has been put out, babies having babies type of thing, and it's just not within the black community. Of course, teenage pregnancy is throughout the United States, and it's a variant. One area that you did speak about in there, and we'll just use the general vernacular of sagging. Young men walking around with their pants down, and I believe the word you used is symbiotic. If that's incorrect, you can correct me on there. Symbiotic of an inferior lifestyle. It displays wrong character that is undisciplined and underappreciated. Do you feel there's a correlation between an individual with the sagging pants and their ability to attain what we would call the American dream?
Not their ability, their willingness. There's a difference between ability and willingness. Why would a young man walk around showing his underwear? Doesn't make sense. Why would someone walk around with their pants halfway down their behind? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. All right? There's a Bible verse that said man looks at the outward appearance, God looks at the heart. God looks at the heart of individuals, all right? But it also says that man looks at the outward appearance. How are you going to get a job? How is somebody going to hire you? And your pants are halfway down your behind. That is totally disrespectful, and that's symptomatic of somewhere down the line, fathers are not instilling certain values in their sons. That would never go in Africa. That would never go into African society. And these are the values I'm talking about. Fathers must take the time to instill values in their sons. In the Jewish culture, nothing like that would ever go on. Before that boy would go through his bar mitzvah, the father would instill those values within their sons, to the point that when they reach the age of bar mitzvah, they can enter into manhood with a sense of character and integrity. We need to do the same thing and see our young men walking around with their pants halfway down their behind. It's very, very disturbing to me. It needs to be addressed.
The actress Victoria Powell was on a talk show, and she was saying that, the terminology Ebonics. Ebonics she categorized is a black language compared to Spanish, French. Her statement was basically that we utilize that sort of amongst ourselves. That's our way of communicating, and we use the proper language we need to utilize in the business world or what have you. The reason why I brought that up is because there's been an argument to a degree of, some would say, like in my generation, comparatively things that I wore and how I presented myself, my parents thought were out of line and not right. Their parents thought what they wore was out of line, I say. So what we're talking about at this point in time is some are arguing that basically this is just a fashion statement and not an indicative of the individuals themselves. Would you argue that that's different as far as the sagging aspect?
That's an asinine, ludicrous view. Take a young man to General Electric to apply for a job with his pants halfway down his behind. Take him to Dean Witter, or take him to any professional establishment for him to apply for a job with him sagging. See if he'll get the job. That's all I got to say about that. That makes sense.